I've been reflecting on just living in a human body, how on an appearance sake, everything is, I'm separate and everyone's separate. And there's objects that I call separate, and living in this duality with everything. And there's so much evidence, in the physical plane, in the relative world, that this is the case. Like, if I was to slap one of you on the back, right, you'd feel a sting, and that would be evidence that, wow, you're separate. I said there's pain and there's... On an appearance sake, that's what's real. That's what seems real, that we live in this dualistic world with, and on the relative level, it's true. And we believe in it. So many, most everyone doesn't take it farther than that. This is how it is. And in that, and in this sense of myself and everyone else, and then there's me and myself through thoughts of how I know myself to be through thoughts and feelings and the body and the separateness of it all. And there's so much thought-based dialogue and narrative and time and life force energy spent in this giving to myself, me and myself, and then seeking happiness and seeking relationship and seeking knowing oneself through objects and people, and that whole big apparatus that appears true. Like, this is it. This is who we are, and this is how the world is, and this is how we operate in the world. And I, just on a personal note, I spent, oh my God, decades. I was a workshop junkie. I've done about everything there is out there, and I spent decades doing it and paying money, and I have 20 years of weekly psychotherapy. I've had a equivalent of 20 years of weekly. So this myself became a project, and there's something in the separateness that I just didn't, like everyone, I didn't feel whole. I didn't feel complete. It didn't feel right. I felt lonely. I felt isolated. Retreats, meditation retreats, I've done at least 40 7-10-day and retreats, and then 3 very long retreats. So I was like one of these very sincere Buddhists, dedicated to my own personal liberation. Like, I was going to find it somehow. It was in my wheelhouse. I'm a 1 on the Enneagram, and I'm just going to find it. I'm going to nail this somehow. And along the way, there was a whole lot of, call it cleansing or purification or understanding the laws of karma, where I wasn't so caught in the kusala. Akusala, it's referred to as bad karma. Kusala karma is good karma. So I cleaned up a lot, and I was happier, and I was aware and grateful of that. But still, there's this tweaking. Like, it's a tweaking, trying to get it even better. Like, not quite right. I kind of nailed it, but not quite. And then somewhere along the line, I think it was the frustration or this koan that I couldn't really crack open, that I just let go. And actually there was some depression, there was like all this hard work didn't lead to the goal, to the jewels, and everybody, I can see some heads nodding, so we can all relate to this. And and then I kind of went through a disillusionment, this disillusionment with it all. Like, okay, well, I give up. I give up. I'm not trying anymore. And something, and I know you've probably heard stories of Eckhart Tolle or Byron Katie or some of these great teachers who they had to just, through misery, relax and release and just let go of it all. And then voila, there's an awakening. There's this beautiful, radical awakening that occurs in the letting go. And so this is what I want to talk about, and where I hope the discussion goes tonight, is this first recognizing of seeing oneself and knowing oneself through thought, conceptualization, the mind, of who we know ourselves to be through thought, and then through closer examination, realizing it's just my mind, and it's the appearance of, through my mind, and of course the senses reinforce this, and seeing into it. It took me a long time, but just recognizing this is all a story, a narrative of myself, and I want to let go. I just need to let go of it all. And then the letting go happens. And it's not overnight, but as I refer to it, it's more like not entertaining the thinking mind that's reinforcing the sense of a separate self. It just keeps reinforcing that. And then if we're lucky, if we're just, like if they sometimes refer to it as the accident happens, if the accident happens, then things just fall away. And it's more of an effortless awakeness, of being in one's awake awareness, this awake awareness, being in one's inner being, and letting all of that other just fade out, and living in that in nowness. This, instead of striving to be here and to be present, everything else, it just falls away where one is here and one is present. There's not the seeking, there's not the entertainment of the thought-based, ego-based fueling of self, this me and myself. That just takes a long rest. And it's wisdom that sees into it, my wisdom that saw into it, and realized, I don't need to keep doing this. This is just fueling something that's not me anyway. And then, of course, being in the world of everything that we know, the 10,000 things, it hooks us back in, and everyone else is living in this place of being in separation and thinking what's real is really real. Those of us who are waking up see it as appearance of what's real, but it's not really what's real. So I think I'd like to end the talk here and just open it up to discussion.